The best thing about sandwiches is that they can make for a great snack, or you can make a meal out of them. I'm Tarika, welcome to Get Curried, where today I'm going to show you how to make a chicken grilled sandwich. So let's get started. Now the first thing you need for a chicken sandwich is of course chicken. I've got 200 grams of boneless chicken breast, which I've just poached. If you want to know how to make really good chicken stock, you'll find a link to the recipe in the description box below. In this pan, I'm going to add about a tablespoon of oil. Just let that heat up slightly. Now that the oil is slightly hot, I'm going to add about 2 to 3 tablespoons of finely chopped onion. I don't want to brown these onions, I'm just looking for them to turn translucent. And now to this, I'm going to add about 2 teaspoons of finely chopped garlic. That's going to give so much flavor to our chicken filling. Just swirl that around. Cook this so that it loses its raw smell. To this, I'm going to add a quarter of a teaspoon of black pepper powder and a quarter of a teaspoon of chili flakes. You don't want this to be too spicy. And half a teaspoon of some cumin powder. Now I know I said this is a chicken grilled sandwich, but just sneak in some veggies. So I'm going to add in about 3/4 of a cup of some boiled corn and 1 capsicum that's just been cut up into cubes. Just saute this in the spices really well. Once the veggies are slightly cooked, it's of course time to add the shredded chicken. Again, just toss and mix, making sure everything is coated in the spices. Now this is my favorite thing to add, which is some dried oregano. I'm going to add about 2 teaspoons. Now you add this usually later because this is a herb and not a spice, which is why we wait to add it in the end. Sometimes when you're stir frying the chicken mixture like this, it can become a little bit dry. So remember the stock water that I mentioned earlier. I'm just going to use just about a ladle full of it. And just add that in here. It'll keep the chicken from drying out. And just then sprinkle in a little bit of salt and give it a quick saute. This chicken and veggie mixture for the sandwich is absolutely ready, and if you get a close look at this, you'll see that the chicken is really nice and moist and hasn't dried out. So I'm just going to turn this off and let it cool while we make the dressing. Now this is a personal preference. You can use mayonnaise, but I love hung yogurt in this recipe for the dressing, and that's what I'm using here. It's half a cup. This also cuts back a bit on the calories, which is always good. So I'm going to add a pinch of black pepper powder because we want to season this dressing, and about a quarter of a teaspoon of some dried oregano and 1 teaspoon of some red chilli sauce. Just mix that together. And the most important ingredient, salt. Now don't go overboard with the salt because we've also added some to the chicken and veggie mixture. So just balance it out. And just whisk that in. Look at that. Hung yogurt is so thick and creamy, you'll never be able to tell that it's not mayonnaise. Now in life, you have to make every minute productive. So while the chicken mixture cools down, I'm going to butter the bread, quite literally. So now for these sandwiches, you need to butter the bread on both sides because we're going to grill it. So that's exactly what I'm doing. Now just flip it over and butter it on the other side as well. There's plenty of filling here and I can already see 4 very hungry people around me. So I'm going to finish buttering the bread slices fairly quickly. And in the name of productivity, just like that, the chicken and veggie mixture has also cooled down. So now I'm going to add this yummy dressing to it. Why waste another bowl when you can just use this one, right? And just mix the dressing really well. It looks so good. It's making me very hungry. And before you feed this to others, just make sure you taste it yourself. That is good. So good. Okay. I'm just going to move this to the side and start assembling the sandwiches. Now the trick is that you don't want to overload this with the filling. Just first plonk it in the center and just spread it to the sides. That's when you know you've got the right amount, when it's not spilling out from the sides. And just cover it. Time for the next one. Again, just remember to always plonk it in the center and then spread to the side. Grilled sandwiches are such a buttery affair, you better be in the mood for indulgence. So of course we've buttered the bread, that's a tongue twister. And now I'm just going to grease the inside of this griller. Of course, I'm going to take a little bit more butter, but just take this onto a paper towel or a tissue like this. See, I'm trying to be a little conservative and not just like, slather on the butter. Just make sure you get this into the crevices so that the sandwich really doesn't stick. Make sure that you grease the top as well. And the thing about greasing the griller really well before you start making the sandwiches is that it makes for much easier cleanup later because the sandwich doesn't stick to it. So it's much easier to clean it out later. Perfect. Now it's time to place the sandwiches in the griller. A little snug here. Shut it. Now it totally depends on the griller that you're using, but I usually wait for this orange light to turn green. Pretty much like life on the roads, right? Whoa, look at that. It's such a beautiful golden brown. Now be very careful while you pull this out. Now notice how carefully we've stuffed this, so there's no spillage on the sides. This is so beautiful and crisp. Now, if you don't have this sort of a griller, I'm going to show you one which is a very desi one, which you probably saw when you were last in college. I'll show you how to grill a sandwich in that one. Can you guess what it is? Hang on. Remember this? Ta-da! Now, very important for this one is to make sure that you grease it really well from the inside. So you need a little bit more butter than usual. But that's what college memories are all about, right? We ate sandwiches outside college in these kind of sandwich makers. And just very carefully place this in here. It's a little bit of a size adjustment to get into this one. Whoa, beautiful. And this one needs a little bit of TLC while you cook this on the stove. I'm cooking this on a low flame because I don't want it to burn, and after about 2 minutes, just flip the side over. cook it on the other side also. Then we'll check how it's doing. I'm just gonna check this. Oh wow, that's beautifully golden brown. Love it. Just check it on the other side as well. Oh, lovely. Great. Turn off the flame. And we are ready to eat this one as well. That's it. We're ready to serve this grilled sandwich as well. Now just wait for them to cool down slightly before you slice them in half. I know, it's very tempting, but just wait. Now this is my favorite way of making sandwiches at home. Sometimes I have it with soup, sometimes just with ketchup. But I hope you try this recipe really soon and subscribe to Get Curried.